And that sucked. What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
I just hope we can win a race.
Can we win a race or a game? Welcome back to No Onions, No Tomatoes, giving the people what they want, giving you what you need. Christina and Jed, we're on the case. We're ready.
NASCAR playoffs are here.
NASCAR playoffs are here, right? So we're in September. Everybody's losing their mind because in football's back, right? NFL's back.
And college, people lose their mind over college.
That's and then we're not judging. And then so we have MLB. We do like baseball.
Oh my gosh!
And
Dodgers Cardinals series 4-game set right now.
4-game set. It's going on right now. We do like that. But guess what?
Sleep on the couch. I don't know.
You people who don't follow NASCAR, I'm going to give you a reason to, right?
Right.
So guess what? They've raced 26 races.
That's right.
And so now only 16 drivers are eligible for the championship.
10 races to determine it.
10 races.
And so
high-tech telestrators coming out.
High-tech telestrator.
I got it. All right, babe.
So
let's go. Let's start talking about this. What do we got here?
So this just illustrates our 16 drivers and their current point situation going into the first race, which is Las Vegas.
Right. So
what do you say?
Well, hey, look. So we have the big three right here. We have Kyle Busch, we have Kevin Harvick, we have Martin Truex. Right. These guys have won the most races and they have the most points. You want to break down that point situation?
Yes. Kyle has 2,050, so he's going in with 50 as well as Harvick. So they're currently tied, and these points will continue throughout each round of the playoffs.
Right.
And there's 4 rounds to the playoffs.
Right.
And so then you could see that Truex is back 15 points, if I'm doing my math right.
Good job.
In third place, and then Brad Kay with that win at the Brickyard.
The Brickyard, and then also winning the Southern 500 at Darlington.
Got him 2 crown jewels in a row.
Yes, got him 10 points.
And so then we have Clint Boyer. Now, when you get to the blue, what does that indicate?
Those indicate drivers that are new to the chase from last year.
Yes.
So Boyer, Logano, they're back in. Boyer's been in before, Logano's been in before, but they did not make it last year.
So then we go down to Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, and then the top 10 ends with Eric Jones, who's also new to the playoffs.
Yeah, and a young gun.
A young gun. How about those young guns showing some?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at these young guns, I mean, you have Chase Elliott, Blaney, Eric Jones, Austin Dillon, also Kyle Larson. I mean, and Alex, the showman Bowman.
And to show it, Jimmy Johnson, Mr. 7-time.
Jimmy Johnson, 7 times. Limped in. Barely made it in.
Barely made it in, and he has 0 playoff points.
That means that he did not win a race, or he did not win a stage.
And so you can see him way down there at the bottom.
That's right. So let's break down. So here are the 10 races
that make up the playoffs.
So let's talk about them. So here's the first 3 races. We have Vegas, we have Richmond, we have Charlotte. But Charlotte, the Roval, a.k.a. a road course.
Yes, and so that's a new track that no one's ever raced on this before.
NASCAR's never raced on this before.
Brand new, so that's going to be exciting. And so Vegas was won earlier this year by Harvick, and Richmond was won earlier this year by Kyle Busch. And so after these 3 races are over, 4 drivers will be eliminated from the playoffs.
Right.
And then we go to round 2.
Round two. We have Dover, we have Talladega, and we have Kansas, right? So we'll be at Kansas. Woo, can't wait.
Elimination race.
Yes, elimination race. So we have Harvick won Dover. We have Joey Logano who won Talladega, and then Harvick again breaking through and winning at Kansas.
And so then 4 more drivers will be eliminated, and we go to the 3rd round, which is Martinsville, Texas, and Phoenix. And then who won there?
Okay. Clint Boyer, Kansas, Clint, Emporia, Kansas, we love you. And then so we go to Texas, where Kyle Busch put on the Kyle Busch show again, and Phoenix, which was coming off of Kevin Harvick's disallowed win in Vegas.
And he said, F you, I'll win again.
Yes, and he won again, and he has dominated Phoenix.
And so then 4 more drivers are eliminated, and you left with the final 4 who will race in Homestead, Miami area for the championship.
Right, and so when they do race in Miami, this is the only time where these points over here on the side, the 50, 50, 35 will be wiped out. The 4 drivers left will start with 0 points, and whoever finishes in front of the others 3 will win the championship.
Doesn't matter if they're finished 30, 31, 32, 33. That 30th place win will win you the title.
Yep, absolutely. But just to let you guys know, in every scenario, since this race has been ran in this format, the winner of the race has won the championship. So that tells you a lot. So these guys right here, the reason we want to point this out with who's won before is you can see 8 out of the 10 races have been won by drivers who are in the playoffs.
That's right. So, it's very exciting. 10 races to determine our champion and our sport. Super exciting.
Yep. So we're gonna roll in. We're rolling into Vegas.
That's right.
You want to cover Vegas? What are we gonna do?
Yeah, so just to recap, because we did talk about it earlier in the year, this is the second race of the year.
Right.
It is a 1.5 mile
Tri-oval.
That's right. And you're going to go, it's the South Point 400.
Yes.
And so we're going to do about 267 laps. The stages are 80, 80, 107.
Yes.
And so, I don't know where we are in qualifying. We might drag this out to tell you who the qualifier is. So again, Harvick dominated this race in March.
Yep. Everything but the pole. Ryan Blaney won the pole.
And so Harvick won every stage and the race. Then he led 214 of those 267 laps.
Unbelievable. It was
crazy.
Yes, and there were only 9 cars on the lead lap at the end of this race.
Yeah, and that's the part I don't like.
Yeah, no, we don't like that, and I don't think that's going to happen this week. This week. But rounding out that top 10, we had Kyle Busch, we had Larson, Truex, Blaney, Keselowski, Logano, Eric Jones, Paul Menard, Eric Almirola. I don't know if you guys heard this, but what stands out to you about this? Every driver except for what?
Menard is in the playoffs.
Is in the playoffs. So the strongest drivers raced strong there before, but this race may be a little bit different because the temperature has changed by 30 degrees.
It's about 100 degrees.
It's 100. Anybody's been to Vegas, but anywhere between May and the end of September, you know how hot it is there.
That's right. And so we have to decide, are the top 3 just going to stay dominant during this playoffs?
I would say, Martin Truex is going to have some issues, being that they're shutting down operations after this season because the defending champion can't find sponsorship.
Okay, should we talk about that? See if you can read that. So he is our defending champion, and his whole team is shutting down operations, and because he couldn't find funding for next year because some of his sponsors are leaving. He's the champion. Something is wrong with this sport if that's the case.
Drastically wrong. You can't have that. You can't be that dependent on sponsorship.
No.
All right, so who races well here, right?
Yes.
Going back, so we got top 10, right? We have Logano, we have Jimmy Johnson because he's been around for a while.
Yes.
Kevin Harvick.
Yes. Boyer, Kyle Busch, Casey Kane, Truex, Hamlin, Newman, and Keselowski.
Yes, so Kevin Harvick's sitting in here with 2 wins. He has 3 top 5s and 5 top 10s.
Brad Kay also has 2 wins.
Yes.
And 6 top 10s. So
yes.
The only one that has, so Kyle has 2 DNFs, which is a big problem.
Big problem. You can't have a DNF because you don't want to erase your points advantage.
Right. And so the other driver with a DNF is Harvick has 1 and Newman has 1. So we just got to see what happens, who wins the poll, and how this playoff is going to get started.
Yeah, other than that, it's really solid. So, hey, what we're going to do now is we are going to break this down, and we're going to tell you guys our picks. We have our bracket, and we're gonna stick by this. We're going to tell you who we believe is going to transfer through after round 1, 2, and 3, and who's going to be the champion. Do you want to read yours first?
Sure.
Okay.
Kyle Busch, Harvick, Truex, Keselowski, Boyer, Logano, Kurt Busch, Kyle Larson, Blaney, Hamlin, Elliott, and Johnson. So the 4 I have not continuing on after the round of 16 are Jones, Dillon, Almirola, and Bowman.
Jones, Dillon, Almirola,
And Bowman.
Okay, so here are mine. I have Kyle Busch, Harvick, Truex, Keselowski, Logano, Blaney, Larson, Hamlin, Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott, Eric Jones, and Bowman.
Ooh.
So I have, not making it through, I have Johnson, I have Almirola, I have Dillon,
And Boyer. Man, no love for Kansas Clint.
No love for Kansas Clint. Okay.
So continuing into the round of 8, I have Kyle Busch, Harvick, Keselowski, Truex, Logano, Larson, Hamlin, and Boyer.
Okay. I match you with that, except for I have Kurt Busch instead of Boyer.
Okay,
So hey, so there we go. So we're pretty close there.
that's right. So what are your top 4?
My top 4
Okay.
going into the final are Kyle Busch,
Okay,
Kevin Harvick,
okay,
Brad Keselowski,
okay.
Larson.
Wow. Breaking up the big 3. I'm taking the company line and going Busch, Harvick, Keselowski, Truex.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Now,
Bing, ding, 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 ding.
the champion I have,
For 2018, our predictions.
let's say it at the same time. I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3.
Kyle Busch. I get another championship.
I really can't go against him, and he's won a lot of races. It was between him and Harvick.
It's
Gonna be
between him and Harvick
it
for me
will
too.
be a slugfest.
That's right. Yeah,
All right.
I'm just going 18 and 18. I'm just trying to make it, I just don't want it to rhyme.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay, so I think that's all we have for now, unless you could have seen who won the poll.
I really can't see it, and I don't think
Okay.
they really care. Tune in though, right? So we're gonna
Oh, yeah.
tune in. It's gonna be on
Sunday.
It's gonna be at 2:30 Central Time, and it's gonna be on NBCSN.
All right, folks. Like, subscribe, share,
Do all that stuff.
do all that stuff.
We want it all to happen. We're back. Follow us, share us. Bam.
Bam!